You have said in our previous podcast that cybersecurity is a human issue, which involves technology. It's not a technology problem to be solved technically. Expound upon that. Let's dig into that a bit.
Look, technology has been with us since the beginning of time. The first time some Neanderthal picked up a rock or a bone and used it to kill an animal or harm a neighbor, we've been utilizing technology. So the current technology is simply contemporary iteration of various kinds of tools that humans have used for eons. And the notion that we now ought to be only focusing on how to protect ourselves from uses, misuses, and abuses of technology with other technology and to extract ourselves from the equation is, from my perspective, nonsensical. So, yeah, I would begin with that. There's more that we could say if we had time.
No, and that's amazing. I mean, it sounds like by trying to remove the human factor from the technology, you're creating Skynet, right? You're creating an AI that could take over the world instead of actually making the human side better.
Yeah, look, I posted just after New Year's on LinkedIn my 2024 prediction, which was that people will continue to make the same mistakes just differently, ingeniously recreating old problems in new ways. And it got a few looks, which I'm pleased by, because people need to be able to confront that as a reality. The psychoanalytic principle there is called the repetition compulsion, which is that we continually try to overcome certain issues by coming at it again and again and again and again and again, hoping that it will be different. And some people call that the definition of insanity. It's actually not. It's entirely normal. Insanity is something else. It is, however, profoundly ineffective and deeply flawed. And so being able to approach these problems in ways that account for what the problem actually is leads us to better solutions. Just very quickly, when I'm giving presentations on risk management and human risk, which is a very important category that certainly includes cyber risk, but also transcends to institutional risk, I call up the story of Aaron Ralston, the extreme hiker who was depicted in the movie 128 Hours, based on his book, Between a Rock and a Hard Place. And in that story, Mr. Ralston goes out into the Utah Canyonlands and he falls into a crevasse, and a boulder comes down after him and pins his arm against the side of the gully that he's in. And he spends the bulk of a week, the 128 hours, trying to maneuver this multi-ton boulder so that he can get out. And as he's approaching what will surely be death, he suddenly realizes that he had completely misdiagnosed the problem, and that the issue there was not the boulder, it was his arm. And so, he came to the radical conclusion of self-amputating his forearm so that he could escape, which he did. And fortunately, there were people outside pretty quickly who helped get him medical attention, and he lived. So it's a somewhat upsetting example. And most organizations don't require people to self-amputate, but it's an instructive parable to the importance of understanding what actually is the problem that you're trying to solve, so that you can come to a clear and accurate determination of what actions need to be taken to resolve the situation. And to me, that is so applicable to the problem of superimposing technology over human decision-making in cybersecurity. You have to look at what is the boulder and what is your arm.